The IRS punishes silence. They punish avoidance, but they're much more forgiving when you communicate. Here's a question I hear all the time. If I don't have the money to pay the IRS, should I even bother filing my tax returns? It sounds logical, right? Why file a return if it's just going to show I owe money I can't pay? Isn't that asking for trouble? Well, let me set the record straight. That's not just a bad idea, it's one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Let's talk about it. There's a dangerous misconception floating around out there, especially among folks who've fallen behind with the IRS. The myth goes like this: if I can't pay, I won't file. I'll just stay off their radar. But the truth is, the IRS doesn't use radar. They use computers, and your name is in there. And hiding from the IRS, that just makes things worse. Here's the reality. You are legally required to file your tax return, whether or not you can pay. And if you don't, the IRS comes down harder on you for not filing than they do for not paying. Let's look at the numbers. The failure to file penalty is 10 times higher than the failure to pay penalty. That's 5% per month for not filing, compared to just 0.5% per month for not paying. And both penalties can stack up to 25% of what you owe. You'd be amazed how quickly that adds up. Say you owe $10,000. If you don't file for 5 months, the IRS can tack on another $2,500 in penalties just for not filing. Meanwhile, the penalty for not paying over the same time, just $250. Let me be blunt. The IRS punishes silence. They punish avoidance, but they're much more forgiving when you communicate. Here's the kicker. If you don't file, the IRS may file for you. They'll do what's called a substitute for return. And guess what? They don't include your deductions. They don't find every expense. They look at your income and assume the worst. You'll owe more than if you had just filed yourself. And if you think you're flying under the radar, think again. The IRS has powerful tools. They get income data from your employer, your bank, even third-party vendors. Eventually, they catch up. And when they do, it's not pretty. What you should do if you can't pay: first, always file. Protect yourself from maximum penalties. Second, explore payment plans. Installment agreements are common. There are plans based on what you can pay, not on how much you owe. Number 3, look into offers and compromise. Settle for less. It doesn't work for many, but it does work for some. Number 4, ask for penalty abatement, first time or reasonable cause. And number 5, talk to a professional. Don't go it alone. The truth is, the IRS is more flexible than most people think. If you take the first step, they have payment plans, settlement programs, and penalty relief. But none of that matters if you don't file. Let me leave you with this. Not filing your tax return because you can't pay is like ignoring a leaky roof because you can't afford the repair. It doesn't solve the problem. It makes it worse. Let's file your return. Then we can talk about how to deal with what you owe. That's what I help people do every day. Fight back, get back on track, and sleep a whole lot better at night. And for more useful information from a tax attorney, subscribe.